Easy English Hub.
Hey, have you watched any good movies or TV shows lately? I've been on a bit of a binge-watching spree. There's just so much great content out there right now. I recently finished watching Stranger Things, and I have to say, it was absolutely gripping. The mix of nostalgia, supernatural elements, and strong character development kept me hooked from start to finish.
Oh, I love Stranger Things. The way they capture the 80s vibe is just perfect. The kids are such great actors, and the storyline is so engaging. I recently watched The Queen's Gambit, and it was phenomenal. I never thought a show about chess could be so captivating, but the way they portrayed Beth Harmon's journey was incredible. The cinematography and the period details were spot on.
I've heard so many good things about The Queen's Gambit. It's definitely on my watch list. It's amazing how a well-crafted story can make any subject interesting. Speaking of captivating stories, have you seen Breaking Bad? It's one of those shows that just keeps getting better with each season. The character arc of Walter White is one of the best I've ever seen on TV.
Yes, Breaking Bad is a masterpiece. The transformation of Walter White from a mild-mannered chemistry teacher to a ruthless drug lord is just mind-blowing. The writing, the acting, everything about that show is top-notch. Another show that I think is brilliant is Game of Thrones. Despite the controversial ending, the journey was epic. The world building and the complex characters made it a must-watch.
I agree, Game of Thrones was a cultural phenomenon. Even though the ending divided fans, the series as a whole was groundbreaking. The scale of the production, the intricate plot lines, and the unexpected twists kept everyone on their toes. Speaking of epic journeys, have you seen The Mandalorian? It's a fantastic addition to the Star Wars universe. The storytelling and the visuals are just stunning.
Yes, The Mandalorian is amazing. Baby Yoda, or Grogu, is just the cutest. The show does a great job of expanding the Star Wars lore while introducing new characters and adventures. It's a perfect blend of nostalgia and new storytelling. Another show that I recently enjoyed is The Crown. The way they depict the lives of the British royal family is so fascinating. The attention to detail and the performances are outstanding.
I've heard The Crown is really well done. It's interesting to see the personal and political dynamics of the royal family. Speaking of historical dramas, have you watched Peaky Blinders? It's such a gritty and stylish show. The story of the Shelby family and their rise in the criminal underworld of Birmingham is captivating. The cinematography and the soundtrack are just perfect.
Yes, Peaky Blinders is fantastic. Cillian Murphy is brilliant as Tommy Shelby. The show's atmosphere and the way it captures the post-World War I era are impressive. Another show that I think is a must-watch is Black Mirror. Each episode is like a mini-movie, exploring different aspects of technology and its impact on society. It's thought-provoking and sometimes quite chilling.
Absolutely, Black Mirror is a unique show. The way it delves into the dark side of technology is both fascinating and unsettling. Each episode leaves you with something to think about. On a lighter note, have you seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine? It's one of the funniest shows I've watched. The characters are hilarious, and the humor is spot on. It's a great show to unwind with.
Yes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is such a feel-good show. The chemistry between the cast is amazing, and the humor is so clever. It's one of those shows that can always make you laugh. Another comedy that I love is The Office. The mockumentary style and the quirky characters make it a classic. Michael Scott is one of the most memorable TV characters ever.
I couldn't agree more. The Office is a timeless comedy. The way it captures the everyday absurdities of office life is brilliant. Speaking of classics, have you watched Friends? It's one of those shows that never gets old. The humor, the friendships, and the iconic moments make it a favorite for so many people.
Yes, Friends is an all-time favorite. It's amazing how it still resonates with audiences today. The characters and their dynamics are so relatable. Another show that I think has a similar charm is How I Met Your Mother. The storytelling and the humor are fantastic, and the way they build up to the reveal of the mother is really well done.
Definitely, How I Met Your Mother has a unique way of storytelling. The flashbacks and the way they weave different timelines together are really clever. It's one of those shows that you can watch over and over again. Speaking of rewatchable shows, have you seen Parks and Recreation? It's another great comedy with a fantastic cast and hilarious moments.
Yes, Parks and Recreation is wonderful. Leslie Knope is such an inspiring character, and the humor is so heartwarming. It's one of those shows that always leaves you with a smile. Another show that I think is worth mentioning is Stranger Things. The blend of sci-fi, horror, and 80s nostalgia is just perfect. The kids are amazing actors, and the storyline keeps you hooked.
I completely agree. Stranger Things is a perfect mix of suspense and nostalgia. The way they build the mystery and the supernatural elements is fantastic. It's one of those shows that you can't stop watching once you start. Speaking of binge-worthy shows, have you seen The Witcher? It's a great fantasy series with an intriguing plot and impressive visuals.
Yes, The Witcher is great. Henry Cavill is perfect as Geralt of Rivia. The world building and the storyline are really engaging. It's a must-watch for any fantasy fan. Another show that I think is amazing is Westworld. The concept of a futuristic theme park with advanced AI is fascinating, and the twists and turns keep you guessing.
Absolutely, Westworld is a mind-bending show. The way it explores themes of consciousness and free will is really thought-provoking. It's one of those shows that you need to pay close attention to, but it's totally worth it. Speaking of thought-provoking shows, have you seen The Handmaid's Tale? It's a powerful and intense series that really makes you think about society and human rights.
Yes, The Handmaid's Tale is incredibly powerful. The story and the performances are so compelling. It's a difficult watch at times, but it's so important. Another show that I think is worth watching is Big Little Lies. The cast is amazing, and the storyline is gripping. It's a great mix of drama and mystery.
I've heard great things about Big Little Lies. It's definitely on my list. It's amazing how many great shows are out there right now. There's something for everyone, whether you like drama, comedy, sci-fi, or fantasy. It's a great time to be a TV and movie fan.
Absolutely. There's so much quality content available, and it's exciting to see how storytelling continues to evolve. Whether it's through traditional TV, streaming services, or even independent films, there's always something new and interesting to watch. It's a great way to relax and escape into different worlds.
You know, another thing I love about movies and TV shows is how they can transport you to different worlds and times. Whether it's a historical drama that takes you back to a different era or a sci-fi series that imagines the future, it's like a mini vacation for your mind. Have you ever watched Outlander? It's a fantastic blend of history, romance, and adventure. The way they depict different time periods is just mesmerizing.
Yes, Outlander is such a captivating show. The time travel element adds a unique twist to the historical drama. The chemistry between the characters and the beautiful landscapes make it a visual treat. Speaking of time travel, have you seen Doctor Who? It's one of those classic shows that has managed to stay fresh and exciting over the years. The adventures of the Doctor and the various companions are always thrilling.
Absolutely, Doctor Who is a timeless classic. The creativity and imagination that go into each episode are incredible. It's amazing how they can keep reinventing the show with new doctors and storylines. Another show that does a great job of blending different genres is Supernatural. It's a mix of horror, fantasy, and drama, and the bond between the Winchester brothers is at the heart of it all.
Yes, Supernatural is such a fun show. The mix of mythology, folklore, and modern-day settings makes it really interesting. The relationship between Sam and Dean is so well developed, and the show's humor adds a nice balance to the darker themes. Another show that I think is great at blending genres is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's a perfect mix of action, drama, and supernatural elements.
I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's one of those shows that has a bit of everything: action, humor, romance, and some really poignant moments. Buffy is such a strong and relatable character. Speaking of strong characters, have you watched The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? It's a fantastic show about a woman finding her voice in the stand-up comedy world of the 1950s. The writing and performances are top-notch.
Yes, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel is brilliant. The way they capture the era and the challenges faced by women in that time is really well done. Midge Maisel is such an inspiring character. Another show that I think is empowering and entertaining is Fleabag. It's a raw and honest look at a woman's life, with a lot of humor and heart. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is amazing in it.
I completely agree. Fleabag is a masterpiece. The way it breaks the fourth wall and engages the audience is so unique. It's one of those shows that stays with you long after you've finished watching. Speaking of shows that leave an impact, have you seen This Is Us? It's such an emotional roller coaster. The storytelling and the way they weave together different timelines is just beautiful.
Yes, This Is Us is such a touching show. The characters feel so real, and their stories are so relatable. It's one of those shows that can make you laugh and cry in the same episode. Another show that I think is really moving is Atypical. It's a heartfelt look at a family dealing with autism, and it's both funny and poignant. The characters are so well developed, and the show handles the subject matter with a lot of sensitivity.
I need to go. Bye.
See you later.